Good afternoon, everybody. Want to get on here and invite some people, but I want to give my thoughts on yesterday's events. And you guys watch the news just like I do, social media, whatever the case might be. And I have some thoughts I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to invite a few more people. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So for you guys who are able to join my live, I appreciate you guys. I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. I also want to get out of the way. As a citizen of this country, I have a right to my opinion, and I have a right to express how I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. Some of you guys may agree with what I'm saying. I'm going to say. Some of you guys may not agree with what I have to say. But it's my opinion. You know, we should be able to collectively express how we feel without being criticized for it. You know, and everybody have a difference of opinion. That's what makes us individuals. You know, so I don't want anybody coming on my live talking negative, you know, or trying to bash me or anything like that. But what I gotta say, hey TT, hey Audrey, what I'm gonna say, I feel like has to be said. You know, so here it is. The events that happened yesterday in Washington D.C. Everybody saw it I can't even get my words out because I'm trying to be politically correct, but I want to say what I want to say. But I want to say, and I'm so frustrated as well. You know, hey Gregory, I'm embarrassed. Just to be frank, like I am definitely embarrassed of what has been plastered all over news, all over social media, everywhere about what happened in Washington D.C. You know, they're actually in the chambers voting on whether or not Joe Biden won. Like, and people coming there objecting because they don't want to believe that Joe Biden won and Kamala Harris won. Like, are you serious? And then we have a president who basically got this all started. He rounded up his troops that came out of the woodworks to try to actually make it seem like it was going to make a difference for them to come up there, do all the protesting that they did, you know, breaking into the building at the Capitol that was, you know, and I'm like, I feel like this is a movie that I'm watching. You know, I'm like, this can't be America. You know, where you can just walk straight up to the building and knock out windows, sit in the chambers, and nothing happened. And people had all this stuff to say about the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, how people was peacefully protesting, but they brought gas bombs and stuff to try to get people to disperse and stuff like that. They had the police up there like that was the military. You know, all this stuff that they did when we were peacefully protesting because another unarmed black man was shot and killed by a police officer. But yet and still, we see what's happening on TV. I don't see not one police officer. I'm like, where's the military? Where's the police that's supposed to be protecting, you know, the building? Like, where they at though? You know, But they're too busy taking selfies, from my understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it just blows my mind. And it's like we are telling the message that I saw. We were giving our adversaries the blueprint of what to do if they want to come and attack us. That's what we did. And I'm so disappointed in what I saw on TV. As a citizen, like, forget all the race stuff, forget all the politics stuff, but as a citizen of this country, I'm embarrassed. Like, what does that say to Iraq, Iran, South Korea, China? Like, they don't really like us over there, no way. And we telling them what they can do to come over here and attack us. A real terrorist attack. You said the white supremacists planned this for months. If it was Black Lives Matter, yeah, I agree with you. And then, and the sad part about this is that people actually lost their lives yesterday. 4 people died. For what? Hey, sister, they died for what? Nothing changed. Joe Biden is still going to be the president, and he's still going to be inaugurated on January 20th. He's been certified. Didn't change nothing. But you listen to the president who made you feel like he was going to be marching there with you and that things were going to change. And he made you think that his vice president was going to change some stuff. All he did was lie. And people died yesterday for what? Again, I'm embarrassed. And it's pathetic. And my thing is this right here. If you didn't understand before yesterday that white privilege is real and racism is real, you should understand now. Point blank into the period. And I'm saying this from my point of view and how I feel as a citizen of the United States of freaking America. That's how I'm feeling right now. Because as a black person, I see it over and over and over again, the white privilege. I'm telling you, if it had been us that was doing that stuff yesterday, the National Guard would have been there, police would have been there with their batons, their shields, they would have been gas, they would have been throwing tear gas and all that stuff. If it had been us. We've seen it. I've actually seen it here in Atlanta, where it was a bunch of black people protesting on the unjust killing of another unarmed black person that was shot and killed in the streets of Atlanta. And I saw what happened. And here it is. In Washington, D.C., they are protesting. They're breaking windows. You don't see. Only thing they did was give a curfew because they was afraid that when it got dark outside, that things was going to get worse. So they gave a curfew. But we have seen it be very extreme how they do us. So I don't understand why it is. Here it is. This is a new year. It's supposed to be a new year of new beginnings. This is 2021. And we already starting the year off like this. I'm telling you guys, it's important to get involved in politics. It's important to know what's going on in your community. It's important to know what's going on when it comes to your councilman, your state representative, your not just your president. We need to go down the line, because everybody that's making decisions on what's best for us, we voted them in. For those of you who did vote, they are on the hunt for some of them now. Yeah. And so for me, the only way to really stop this is for us to really pay attention to what's going on and and put our glasses on, because for so long we have been just letting things just fly by the wayside. We've been having our blinders on. We got to pay attention, and that's what they're counting on. If you guys haven't realized by now how powerful the black vote is, you guys should know now. Black people showed up in record numbers, even more than when Obama was running for president. We tied. So we wanted a change. We don't want things to stay the same. We want things to change and evolve, and we want to be actually treated like we are equal, versus having to work so much harder to prove ourselves that we exist, to prove ourselves that we deserve to be here. All this proving that we have to do, and all this jumping through hoops that we have to do. This election should have told you how important a vote is. Even when it comes down to the Senate, the Speaker of the House, everybody legislative, we vote them in. Even the people that we pay to police us, we vote them in. So, guys, for those of you who didn't vote, it's important for you to vote if things going to change. It's like, for once, I just want us to be on one accord, just like other people in other races, they on one accord. And we can be on one accord and pay attention to what's going on in the world of politics, the people who make the laws. Like, we get out here and we protest and say how unfair the laws are, but we're not doing anything to make a voice. Like, when you don't use your voice, you're basically saying that you like how things are happening in your community. That's what you're saying when you don't vote. And so right now, I will say I am happy that more of us, of minorities, they came out and voted this time, because, and I know why they did, because they tied. Nobody can go another 4 years dealing with Trump and his antics and him feeling some type of way when his feelings get hurt. We need somebody that's more level-headed and don't take things so personally. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I would say this to you guys: if you really care about your community, you really care where your kids is growing up, and you would pay attention to what's going on, going to your city council meetings. You know what I'm saying? Like, understanding how laws work and understanding what is the law. That's the only way we gonna really have a fighting chance in this community. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I'm 40 years old, and I remember my grandmother talking to me and my parents talking to me about the things that they had to overcome and the things that they experienced. But when I think about it, I don't feel like we've made it too much farther, and which is sad. And when I think about it, it makes me tear up, because in 4 years, my boys is going to be old enough to vote. In 4 more years, they're going to be old enough to vote. And I would hope that when I'm dead and gone, this America is better for us. And I'm telling you guys how I feel because I pay attention to what's going on. And it bothers me. It bothers me. And I don't understand how you can support somebody that clearly doesn't care about you. He only cares about yourself. And the people that I'm talking about is the same people that smile in my face, but you support somebody that doesn't even line up with what you told me you believe in. So it makes me question certain things. I want to get on here and let you guys to stop sleeping. You guys talk about being woke, understanding what's going on, but what's important is voting people in that really care about you and your well-being and your kids and your life and your livelihood, where you live, your community, that really care. People can say anything. People can put words together, but their actions is what you need to pay attention to. Not what just what people say, but what their actions is saying. He said Trump has took the hooves off those who has been covered up racist. Right. You're right, Greg. And the funny thing is I respect them. Because at least I know where they stand. The ones I don't respect is the ones that fake and phony, that act like they like me as a black person, but they really don't. They're threatened by me. I hope you guys hear the sincerity in my voice and understand that the only way things gonna change is you get out there and you make it change by showing up, by voting, exercising your right to vote, not just in the presidential election, but in all of the elections. There are people in Congress that are making decisions on our life that don't even know us, don't even know what we have to deal with. That's messed up. And here it is. There are so many people that have lost loved ones, that have lost jobs, that have been evicted and are really hurting right now. And they are playing with us about giving us $2,000? Really? And they want to give us crumbs by giving us a $600 stimulus check? What the heck is that? That can't even pay people's rent. But yet and still, they giving tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires. They're giving breaks to these big companies, giving them bailout monies to bail out these automobile industries, but they want to give us crumbs. We're the ones on the ground floor working hard, trying to make a life for ourselves and for our kids, and to be given scraps. It really bothers me. You said, I appreciate President Trump's exposing the hatred in our country because black people have become comfortable with their friends. I've been crying for 10 years, telling folks ain't nothing changed. Now everyone sees. Right. You're so right, Stephen. It's like we've been saying the same thing for so many years. And it had to take so many black people to lose their lives for people to really see what black people go through. Since George Floyd was murdered by the cops, there's been 79 other unarmed black men that have lost their lives. For what? For what? You know? So you guys can turn a blind eye if you want. But for those of you who turns a blind eye, you can't complain about what's going on because you're not doing nothing. It takes all of us to do something and to be on one accord if we're going to see real change in our communities and in this country and how people look at us. We have to really do better as a black community of how people see us in public. You know, because every time we go somewhere, we're always stereotyped. And then when they run to somebody who have intellect and who can put their sentences together real good, they immediately threaten. You know, if all of us took pride in how we carried ourselves and how we spoke to other people, they wouldn't. They'll be used. And this is the thought. They'll be used to us versus thinking all of us are nothing but thugs and live on Section 8 and stuff like that. You know, and I wanted to, get on here and just express, how disappointed I am of what I saw yesterday and what I keep seeing. Not just yesterday, but what I keep reading about people dying for no reason. And when people lose their life for senseless stuff, that's ridiculous. This is supposed to be the land of the free, the land of opportunity. People from overseas want to come to America because they feel like they have a chance. They feel like they have hope. But to see what's on TV, what would make them want to even come here for a better chance? You said, let's stop for a moment and think, how do people invade a federal building when those people have been saying they were going to do it? Everything is not always how it looks. You said yesterday was a part of a bigger agenda about those who are in power. It's always a plot, and it's always a bigger picture. It's always, but that's what I'm saying. We have to pay attention to what's going on and understand what really matters. And making sure our own house is in order. And stop accepting what people give you. Actually make a difference. Run for a state representative in your community. Just pay attention to what's going on and really make a real change. Like some of the stuff that we concern ourselves with don't even really matter. What really matters is the people that's in power that make the laws. That's what really matters. And I feel like we really got to wake up and understand that a lot of times these laws is against us, preventing us from doing the things that we we want to do. Actually giving us equal rights. Like, they found ways to not give us our just due. And we not even paying attention to what's going on. We're just accepting what they're giving us, and we're just being comfortable with getting less than when we deserve way more. We shouldn't have to fight this hard just to live a decent life. And I did not plan to get emotional, but when I think about this country, and I think about all the stuff that I've endured personally living in this country, the 40 years I've been here, and I see on TV, what my brothers and sisters is going through, it bothers me. It really bothers me. And I try to do my part, as a citizen, to exercise my right to vote, and to vote out people who have shown me that they don't care nothing about me or my family or my friends or anybody that look like me. I'm not going to settle for it. But I can't do it alone. No security. Same people who knew about 9/11, right? You said, Kayla said, probably isn't the right time to say this, but you're a beautiful girl. Stay strong. Thank you so much, Kayla. I really appreciate that. I'm just really, wow. I'm just really tired of the chaos. I'm really tired of the chaos, and I'm really tired of the racism, and I'm gonna share something with you, and I don't want this to be negative, but I'm gonna share it. Even though I'm an educated black woman, I talk with intellect and smarts, I have been told that I'm pretty for a black girl. And of course, it wasn't somebody that looked like me that told me that. I'm pretty for a white girl. I'm pretty for a black girl. And I'm like, and of course, I'm in a place of business. I was working at the time. I'm behind the counter, and this white person told me that. White old man told me that I'm pretty for a black girl. Kind of hurt my feelings. And because I'm at work, I didn't say what I wanted to say. But I did tell him. I said, thank you. We come in all shapes and sizes and colors. And I left it at that. But it definitely bothers me that we can be this far along in years and still have to deal with racism. Because people don't see nothing but your color, your skin. And I want us to get past that. I really do. And the only way we can really truly change is if we actually get out there and vote. We practice our right to vote in all the elections. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to who's running in your community. Pay attention to who's running in your city, in your state. And if they don't line up with what you believe in, don't vote them in. Guys, you said I love you and your family. You're not alone. Thank you, Kayla. I so appreciate that. But guys, I'm going to end with this. If you want your voice to matter, if you want you to matter, your power is your vote. Some of you guys may not believe that, but I'm telling you, your ancestors didn't die for no reason so we can have the right to vote. If you really understood what our ancestors had to go through to vote, you will make darn sure that you didn't miss an election. Our ancestors, just to give you a little glimpse into what they went through. And with some of this, I didn't even know. This was one of an experiment that we did last year when I was still working at a normal 9 to 5. But back in the day, our ancestors had to carry their identification with them and their papers with them everywhere they went. If you got caught without your identification, without your name on it, what you did for a living, how much money you made, your voter registration form with you, you was arrested. In order for our ancestors to vote, a lot of them had to walk miles on miles on miles on miles to the only place to go vote. And they had to pay to vote. So they had to work all day in the fields, get up, and they only made maybe a couple of cents, maybe $1 or $2. And they had to use that money, a whole day's work. They had to use that money to go to the bank to get their ballot, and then go another miles on miles on miles to the voting place for them to ask you a series of questions. And if you got any question wrong, you couldn't vote that day. So you had to get back on the bus, for those who did get on the bus, and go all the way back home and have to deal with your family because you had lost a whole day's worth of work. So which means some of y'all didn't eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that they went through to vote. So I don't want to get all into that, but guys, I definitely appreciate you watching my live. I hope that you guys took what I said and really listened to what was being expressed today and make a change. Really make a true change. You know. But anyway, I love you guys to life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. I'll holla.